Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios at the mountaintop, at the highest point, and in Beverly Hills, California. And in the bunker, somewhere below, in hell. That's my intro. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a downer point to the season anyway, so it's okay.
Not a downer. Not a total downer. No, we can't sit here and say it's a total downer.
No, it's not a total downer. It's just it's a downer to be out. The only advantage that I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Sam, but I've been able to get some rest in the last couple of days since the Devils have been eliminated with everything that we did. With all the events that we were doing, everything that we were, doing Game Day Live, and Scotty, you doing Devils After Dark and being on location. It was nice to be able to sit still for at least a day.
I did the dishes today. I mean,
hey,
it is. Oh, way to go, Sam. Way to go. Way to participate.
Yeah, I told Mrs. Wu, don't get used to it. We're going to Stanley Cup Finals next year.
Oh man!
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me was hoping that it would be Devils and Toronto in the next round in the Eastern Conference Finals, because I would have loved to figure out a way for us to go see a game up in Toronto. I know it would have been nearly impossible to get tickets to go see a game up there, but I mean, or expensive. Yeah, I've been like, hey, wife, I gotta go drop a couple grand just to go see a hockey game, but whatever. Let's say love you, man. It was. I don't know about you boys, but watching the end of that game in overtime, when Carolina scored, I put my head down. I just kind of took this deep sigh. I wasn't angry. Like if it happened in the first round, I would have been insufferable for like probably a week, maybe more. I'd still be insufferable about it. But with this one, it was just like, I took that deep breath, and I'm like, you know what? This really sucks bad, and I'm really upset about it. But at the same time, man, what a hell of a ride. I instantly started reflecting on like how incredible the season was, and just so grateful that, you know what, the future is really bright. Like, sometimes people say that like after that the 17, 18 year, they're like, oh, here we go. Now we're back on track. We're going to be a playoff team. But, we went on the podcast and we're like, not so fast. There's a lot of holes to be fixed. This feels different. This does feel like they have a very bright future. And it, as upsetting and bummed out as it was, the next day I woke up and I felt pretty damn good about how well the boys played all year. So nothing to be ashamed about, nothing to hang your head about.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, nobody else is going to pontificate. Scotty is just.
I was waiting on
Scotty's
Scotty.
still upset, I guess.
Oh, I know. I feel like I said all the same
Huge
stuff on
pregnant pause.
Devils After Dark. Yeah, I said all the same stuff on Devils After Dark. So I'll let you guys have your take right now.
Yeah, I just watching that game was, for both teams, a game just full of missed opportunities. From the very beginning, when Carolina missed almost that wide open net with Schmid just diving across the net like that, and then missing a slam dunk, and then obviously that Timo miss is going to be replayed, I'm sure, again and again. That was a big miss. The delay game penalty just sucks. It's part of the game. Mm-hmm. It seems like we got bit by that a couple times, but penalties were a real negative for us through most of the playoffs, most of the first and second round. So at least that's something that they can tighten up. As when that penalty was taken, I just had this feeling. I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. This is not going to go well. And sure enough, that was not well. It went in, and I was upset, but at the same time, I was like, well, you know what? We weren't supposed to be here, and it sucks to end that way. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. It just ended, and I at least got to watch it, and I was at least there for the run. I was there for I didn't go into all the games, but I was at least outside on Edison Place amongst the people for all of the home games, which was a ton of fun. And I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be a perennial, playoff team. The Devils
Finally.
officially arrived this year, and they're not going anywhere. They have a good young core. They're gonna have to make a couple decisions this offseason. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do with Lindy. Gonna have to try and make sure they lock Burnett up into a nice deal, so no one comes in and tries to poach him. A couple RFAs, a couple UFAs. We found out Mackenzie Blackwood was playing hurt again most of the season.
Because
Jack Hughes was hurt in the last game, and we all knew that when he left in game 4 real quick and then coming back. So it's fine. The 3 games they lost, they really stunk. But this last one, they played real hard, but you can tell Carolina just had that extra gear that they were able to go to. And that's all the growing process and the learning experiences for the Devils. To move forward, sometimes you got to lose. Much like Carolina last year, they lost in the second round. And this year, you can tell that that wasn't going to happen again to them. They were going to play to their hearts dropped, and Brindamore was going to have them ready and raring to go each and every time. And they are a different monster than the Rangers were. And, take nothing away from the Devils. I mean, they did play 3 crappy games, but the 2 that they were in, the one that they won, and then the last game, they did a really good job. I think it was just a young team who left it all out on the table in that Rangers series and didn't get any time off to rest. And I think that's something that they need to learn for next year. Is it's a 4-round playoff. It's not just 1 round. And I know that Ranger series almost felt like a Stanley Cup series there just because of the intensity of the rivalry and everything happening. But they have to remember that it's a 4-game series. The whole playoffs is a whole different season. And I think this will be a learning experience from them, seeing what Carolina brought in this round, how they dominated the majority of the games, and how they had that extra gear to go to. Now, a lot of these young kids, this is probably the most hockey they've ever played in their life at this, obviously at this level. So, it's a little bit different there playing in the NHL than, some juniors or whatever, where the competition is nowhere near as stiff. So it's another lesson for them to learn, and they're a young team, and they're going to be on the rise, and it's not going to be a one and done type scenario. Knock on wood, we don't have like a 1,000 injuries again next year, like we did 2 years ago. But, if everyone stays relatively healthy, even if there is an injury or 2, they'll be able to withstand that with the prospects that old Tommy has, built up within the system. And we're going to see a lot more of them coming next year as well. Luke Hughes will probably be here permanently. Nemec will probably be here. If Holtz learns how to skate better in the offseason, he'll be there. If not, he'll be at AHL, and he'll probably get called up a number of times during the year to see if he sticks. Nolan Foote probably will be in the lineup. There's going to be some different guys out there, and and
don't forget about Gritsiuk in Russia. There's
he's still in Russia. I think he's going to at least get a year at the AHL level before he cracks into the NHL. But we'll see what happens with him as well. You got Dawes, you got Akira Schmid. But yeah, this team might be looking a little bit differently though, with Halla being a UFA, Tatar being a UFA, Miles Wood being a UFA, who may have played himself back into a contract. We'll see, but you have a Nolan Foote waiting in the wings there. Bastian, I think, is an RFA, or he might be a UFA as well. Graves and Severson. We always would say that probably one of those 2 is definitely gone, but it may be both of them. With the emergence of Luke and Nemec, you may see both of them just right out the door because the Devils as a team, they're going to have to sign a Dawson Mercer. They're going to have to sign a Bratt. They're going to have to figure out what they want to do with Jesper Bratt. He's another one that I have a feeling was injured during the playoffs. But Timo Meier, when you have some big studs like that, coupled in with a Nico, Jack, and Dougie type of contract, you're going to need some rookie deals as well, which is where a Nolan Foote and a Simone Nemec and a Luke Hughes can really come to your advantage over a Severson or Graves or something like that, you know? You got Marino locked, you got Siegenthaler locked. Obviously, Dougie's not going anywhere, you know? So we'll see exactly, you know, what goes down here, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this team look, you know, a number of changes on it. Lazar, who knows if he'll be back? Well, he's got one more year on his deal. McLeod, I think, is an RFA. I think Mikey McLeod, your boy over there, Beer Baron, with his playoff play, you know, I think he solidified himself as actually playing like a first round prospect, which he was. You know, we really saw him come into his own in the playoffs with his speed and the ability to create some secondary scoring there on the third line. They bumped him up from the fourth. You know, he was playing that third line minutes, and his face-off, you know, percentages were through the roof and so important for the Devils in a number of penalty kill and defensive zone. Like him and Nico.
A couple of clutch goals.
Oh, a couple of clutch goals, obviously. But
I mean, he scores a goal. He hasn't scored
chances,
since January 19th. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't scored since January 19th. And
he was creating a lot of opportunities, though. You know, like 100%. He looked like a different player out there in the playoffs.
Playoff Mikey.
Yeah, like he may be one of those guys that just takes it to that next level once the playoffs come around. Because it certainly seemed like it this year. And Miles Wood, you know, found himself riding the pine up there in the press box. And when he came back into the lineup, man, he put all those stupid penalties aside and he played really well.
He played his
the
game.
Fourth line of the Devils.
He responded well to
really.
It.
Yeah. They outmatched. That was the one line that the Devils really had an advantage on, was the fourth line. Their fourth line totally outplayed Carolina's in the series, you know, in every game, even the ones that were blowouts. Like the fourth line was the only ones creating opportunities. So did he just play himself back into a contract? I'm not sure. But there's going to be some big decisions to make with some of those young kids that are pushing through.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of big decisions. And don't forget, like, it doesn't mean that they're not going to make any moves in the offseason, or they're not going to make any trades.
As well. Forgot to mention.
Yeah, or they're not going to make any adjustments or go after any RF or UFAs. You know, there's a guy that I think if they're going to – a lot of people talked about, like, tightening up the defense or taking another step in the defense. And if you're going to lose Graves and you're going to lose Severson as well, what about bringing in somebody like Matt Dumba or Dumba? I mean, brings a little bit of that nastiness on the back end. Yeah, he's going to cost you, but I mean, if you get him at a decent deal, I mean, it's not a bad idea to bring him in. Other than that, I don't know. I agree that the team's. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I agree with what you're saying. Like the team is going to look different. I believe Eric Hall is going to come back. You know, he walked into Fitzgerald's office like the day before cleanout and basically said, whatever we need to do, I want to be here. I mean, I don't think he's just, you know, some guys say like, you know, the old Parisi line, like, oh, I could, you know, I'll finish my whole career here, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. So full of
He
it.
was saying, he's like, no, I don't want to play anywhere else. Like, this is my family. This is it. And I truly believe that. And Jack Hughes, and I sent you the clip, was singing his praises.
When Jack Hughes says he wants to play with you, that's a pretty nice.
That's a big
incentive right there. Yeah,
exactly. So when Jack Hughes is basically
into the office too, being like, "Sign me up, yeah, okay,
sign me up." Did you hear? Yeah. Did you hear what your boy said about me? Did you hear what your boy said? I'll have a stall right next to his. Thank you very much. But I think that's a great idea. And Siegenthaler had a great response to the Bratt and Meyer thing, and so did Jack Hughes. There's an article by our buddy Ryan over in the NJ.com that I didn't get a chance to read through the whole thing because I was rushing to get over here. But essentially, like just saying that, like Siegenthaler took a discount to stay here, and he keeps saying like there's something big gonna happen. Like I believe in this team. I believe in this.
I mean, his contract is going up next year, like significantly.
Yeah, but still. I mean, I think what the message he's trying to say is like, don't go asking for like 10. Don't go asking for like 9. Like, make it work. Like, if you really want to be here, you'll make it work.
He's going to 3.4 for the next 5 years. I think that's for Siegs. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
because honestly, I would prefer him on I would prefer him on a lower pairing. To tell you the truth, I think he would do much better. I think sometimes that top pairing is, especially with Dougie as well. And we forgot to mention Kevin Ball. You know, he's a RFA. I am sure that he will be re-signed and brought back.
100%.
You know, that's a lot of your big muscle
mark.
too that you may be leaving with Graves. You know, if you let Graves walk, if you let Severson walk, you replace that with Luke. You know, then you have Siegenthaler, you have Dougie, you have Marino. Brendan Smith is still around for a year as well. You have Nemec come up. There's a lot of room there for
Riley Smith.
adjustment and for growth. Riley Smith seems to have hit like a plateau there at the
Riley
AHL
Walsh.
level. And,
I mean
Riley Walsh, yeah, not Riley Smith. Yeah.
You
Riley
said
Walsh.
Smith,
Sorry.
and Smith stuck in my head. And I paused. I was like, nobody's correct.
I just went right there with you.
Roll with it. Yeah, I just went
yeah.
completely.
Oh man.
Jack
but he's another
Mehoff,
interesting
he's
one.
a good player too. He's a right winger.
No, but Riley Walsh is he'll definitely be in training camp next year. You know, it's kind of getting to that point with him too, like make or break. I feel like he's been jumped on that depth chart by Nemec and Luke. So we'll see where it goes, you know, with Muhammad Doolin leaving, with a Hoytuk leaving to San Jose, Graham Clark as well, Tice Thompson.
Tice could find that magic from his brother.
Not Vukojevic, like I like to say. Vukojevic is actually how you pronounce his name. Gritzlick, like you said, you know, I think he'll be in the AHL next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him get a cup of coffee here and there, like maybe like an injury too for a little bit. Someone goes down for like a week or two, they need a rest. I wouldn't be surprised to see him and Holtz getting the same thing. Holtz has got to learn how to skate. He's got the monster shot, and boy, when he gets set up in that face-off circle on the power play, woo! Can he let that bad boy fly? But he's got to learn how to skate a little bit more, you know. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jesper Bratt, who really. Man, did he not have a good playoff? I still suspect he was injured, just the way he was playing. But you can see he was giving it his all. But he was just one empty net goal the entire playoffs. That's all he had.
I don't know, Shorts guy. Shorts guy. I don't know if you agree with this or not. But Jesper Bratt is the type of player that when he's entering into the zone, he will typically try to cut towards the middle. He's trying to make a play. He's always trying to be creative, right? And watching him in the playoffs, it just felt like he would ride parallel to the boards and just continuously, like he wasn't playing his game. That's what it felt like the whole time. He was either pressing, he was falling and down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so like often.
He fell, you know, for somebody that has some of the nicest edge work on a team, and it's somebody that has the nicest skating ability on a team. It was very unusual to see him fall as much as he did. Granted, some of those falls were on MSG ice, which is basically like skating on trash. But he seemed off. I don't know if he was injured, and that could be the possibility. And, you know, a lot of times we don't know what the hell happens. You know, Dougie Hamilton had like a wrist injury in the first round that carried over into the Carolina series. And, you know, they're talking about he might need surgery on it. So who knows what was going on with Bratt, but boy, did he cost himself some money. I'll tell you what, he cost himself at least a couple million.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Woo Bucks. What's up, Max?
Yeah, he
and crew Bucks.
Thanks,
dude.
and crew. But yeah, he disappeared come playoff time, and you're right that potentially just cost him a big time. You know, some big time money, at least from us, but I'm sure that there's someone out there that would pay him whatever he asked for based on whatever, you know, based on nothing. So it's just a matter of if he wants to stay with this team and be part of this core that will eventually win. I think what Sam has predicted 25 for us to win, 24, 25, something like that. So another reason to hate Sam Wu if he gets that wrong. Um,
I'm surprised
um,
he didn't show up right there.
yeah, I'm sure he will now that we've invoked the name Sam Wu. If he's paying attention.
He's eating a sandwich.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, Jesper Bratt just disappeared, and he had this time to shine. Like, this should have been his moment, and he didn't take it. He seemed to change his game up. If he did have some kind of an injury, that would definitely explain a lot. But it's the playoffs, so really, who's not carrying an injury come playoff time?
Mm-hmm.
True.
That's one of the big things about the playoffs. I mean, Dougie had one, Jack had one. I mean, Lindy Ruff's words about Jack going into Game 5, where he was shocked he could put his skates on. So
which is
who
wild.
knows
That's wild.
So who knows if we're going to hear or what we'll hear about that injury. Hopefully it's nothing that's going to require surgery like Dougie's. But yeah, Jesper Bratt was his goal scoring was not there. Now mind you, Timo didn't score a ton of goals in the playoffs either, but Timo did so much off the puck work and just pestering work and pestering play that he was causing trouble on the ice without scoring. But we also need him to score too. So that's something he's got to change for next year's playoff run too. He's got to start popping them home and putting in those empty netters, virtual empty netters too. Might change a game or two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. And the thing is, I think Timo is more so the type of player that the team needs. Obviously, getting both would be great. Like I ran a poll on Twitter the other day, and I asked that question, like, who would you rather bring back, Timo or Bratt? And I think it was 98% of the people that voted said they'd rather have Timo. And I would love to have them both back, but at the same thing, like, and everybody's saying, at what cost? And I see a lot of people keep saying like $7 million a year for Bratt would be reasonable. Even, I don't know, 6, 5, 7, yeah, that would be a reasonable cost for him. But here's the thing I don't want to happen. I don't want this to reach into the summer where it's like the Kovalchuk saga all over again, or like, where it just continues to lurch on and on and on and on and on. And we're getting closer and closer to training camp, and it kind of prevents Fitzgerald to, for doing something because he's kind of in negotiations with Bratt. As much as I love the dude, it's like, get, the old saying, take a dump or get off the pot or whatever.
I think he might end up just getting himself another 1 year deal again.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
And that's annoying too. It's like just these little 1 year deals. It's like, just at least if you're going to do that, do a 3-year deal. Just like lock it up for a couple years so you don't have to keep going through this circus every year.
Well, that's also on the player side too. Is that what they're looking for? Or are they looking for something more long term? If they're not going to get the number of years they want, then they'll probably go with a 1 year deal, and he'll bet on himself again to hopefully again have another 30-goal season, put up great numbers in the regular season, but also, obviously, the idea would be to be a better playoff performer, and then that's where the big money, comes in. Like we talked about with like Miles Wood, who everyone had written off of this team, 3-4 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden, these last like 4 games here, in the playoffs, all of a sudden, he gets back in the lineup. He doesn't take any stupid penalties, and he's actually like, someone out there making a difference on the ice. Now everyone's like, whoa, hang on, maybe we get Miles Wood. Hang on, I love Miles Wood. Oh, you could be a double for life, So, we got to see how that goes. Now, also, like we said, don't forget Curtis Lazar is signed up for another season. Brendan Smith is signed up for another season. I know, Beer Baron was talking about Dumba and Gudis. Both of them are right-handed defensemen, which we do have a plethora of. So, yeah, I mean, we may lose Damon, who's a right-handed defenseman. But Nemec, Luke can play both sides because he's just all over the place. But
yeah.
Marino, I believe, is right-handed defenseman. Dougie is right-handed defenseman. Ball is a lefty on the left side. But we do have a plethora of right-handed defensemen. in our system there. So, I think Brendan Smith can play both sides as well, but we'll see exactly where that all lines up. What's up, Sam?
I was just filling in some space.
Oh, you're like a seat holder at an award show? Is that what it is?
Yep.
You just pop in like that?
Yeah, I've been paying attention, guys. I've been listening.
Oh, okay.
In. I've just been ignoring you
Mhm.
as I'm eating
Yeah.
my salad.
Wait,
salad. I thought it was a sandwich.
Salad.
Not a salad.
I like how Sam was paying attention and ignoring us at the same time. Now that's a multitasker.
Seriously.
Good
of
producer.
high proportions.
Good producer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my dog was scratching at the door trying to get in. I'm like, get out of here. I didn't mean to abruptly get up and leave. I thought he was going to cause too much noise in the background. I have a question for the both of you. So this offseason, now that we don't have to worry, we're not really worrying about a first round pick. We're not looking at, what we're going to be doing with a second or third or fourth or first overall pick and who should we get and all this other kind of stuff. What are we going to do with ourselves this summer? Like, I guess we got July 1st.
Do you hear about all these moves that we're talking about? That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be watching all these
I get that. But I mean, at the same
time,
doesn't it feel kind of like refreshing that we don't have to sit here and debate on like who should they take with the number 2 overall pick or
of course.
What should they do with the top lottery pick that they just got again?
Uh-oh.
I think
there's a glitch in the matrix.
his internet.
Yeah.
Let me do some. Figure this.
Yeah,
out.
it's
okay.
It's going zip zip zap boop boop.
Well, I gotta say, Beer Baron, that we're gonna be paying attention to a lot of these signings. Don't forget, we got to figure out about Lindy Ruff as well. There's gonna be a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of teams that are looking for head coaches. And I brought it up on Devils After Dark. There's a team in Calgary that has a lot of former Florida Panthers on there that are going to be looking for a head coach. And that assistant guy on our team is one of the ones who had quite a good run with some of those dudes that got traded up there into Calgary that were all ready to walk out the door if they brought Daryl Sutter back. And all of a sudden that they fired him, they're all like, oh, okay, all right. Like maybe we'll stick around there and see who you get. Because obviously we know the old Sutters can be a little hard on the team at times, and sometimes it doesn't
a little rough.
last too long as a thing. So
let me ask you this:
way.
would you be shocked if Lindy went into like the front office and they just promoted? Yes. You would be shocked if Lindy. I feel like Lindy's got at least one more solid year. I feel like he wants to see it through one more year. And the team, dude, Jack loves playing for Lindy.
I think he might get like another 2-year deal. I think he's going to get a 2-year contract. I wouldn't be surprised.
And I know, listen, the way the last year ended and the way this year started, and people screaming to fire Lindy, and then sorry Lindy, and then even in the playoffs, we get into the playoffs, and then after the first 2 games against the Rangers, everybody was like, fire Lindy. Get him out of here. He's terrible. Then they start winning, and they're like, sorry, Lindy. Come on back and have a beer. So it's like, I know we're a little crazy as a fan base, but I feel like he earned earned a right to be here next year and possibly the year after, depending on what he does. But I agree. You don't want to lose the core that we have, both in the team and behind the bench.
Agreed, and I think Lindy's got his finger on the pulse of this team. He has all year. You can hear it from the interviews with the players, but also just, hey, this team just had the most points in Devils history. They had the most wins in Devils history. They beat the Rangers in a terrific 7-game series where, the first 2 games they were getting outplayed and they were getting outcoached, and Lindy was able to turn that around on the road in the Garden and, have this team battle back and start playing like the team that we expected them to be like And I think that goes a long way. I mean, it also helps that him and Fitzy are really good longtime friends from their time in the Florida system as well. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Lindy get a 2-year deal and maybe a little sweetened check there for Burnett. I don't know what his contract status is. I have to look at that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see teams coming knocking at his door. But then also we do have Kevin Dineen down there at the AHL level, who's done a really, really good job also. You would think Burnett was kind of the heir apparent, but, could be also a Kevin Dineen too. So we do have some depth in coaching as well. Fitzgerald has set this up pretty nicely.
Wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
It's
so
Billy Dean.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Billy Dean from Hockey and Tap. He wants Burnett over at the Rangers, and when he told me that, I was
course,
like,
every Ranger fan wants him. Yeah, of course.
I was like, man, if Burnett left us to go to the Rangers, it would not go well for him. At least on our side of the river, it would be pretty bad.
No, there would be golf carts everywhere, and
the jokes
and plenty of people to watch him.
Oh yeah.
The Rangers are going to be a disaster, I think, a little bit because they gave away too much for Kane and Tarasenko, and
not according to them, but that's okay.
Not according to them, yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see now that Chicago's going to get Bedard. I would see Patrick Kane hightailing it back to the old Chi-Town there to play with Bedard for I know he said no more rebuilding, but when you got something like that, that's a different story.
Connor McDavid part 2. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And I don't have to buy dinner anywhere ever in town. Oh, okay, all right, sure, why not?
I'll come back as a hero. They'll be like, "Oh, you tried, pal," and pat him on the back and tussle his hair a little bit.
Just gained a draft pick for the Blackhawks. That's all.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time you see that kind of stuff happen once in a while. And I mean,
yeah.
Patty Kane, who knows what he's going to do, but across the river, I got to say,
real quick, it would
definitely be
it'd be very Alanis Morissette. No, I was thinking that the Yankees traded what's his
name?
Chapman
Aroldis Chapman to the Cubs.
for a great deal. They got Glaber and everyone else, right? And then Chapman ended up signing back with the Yankees in the offseason. I mean, again, the Cubs won the World Series, but they kind of they pulled the fast one there. So wouldn't it be funny now if Kane, flip-flopped, ends up, it wouldn't be as big of a heist there, but
I would be all
ironic.
for it. I'd be all for it. Alanis.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
It's like a red day. All right, we're not gonna actually.
What I didn't know? I didn't know that Flea and Chad Smith, I think, played on that album. I had no idea of that. You ought to know. Flea was on You Ought to. He played bass on You. I had no idea. I learned this the other day. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's pretty. And then I thought Taylor Hawkins was the drummer, but he was only the touring drummer.
Oh, that's very
for Alanis. Yeah, I thought he was on the album, but he was her touring drummer.
And we are officially into off-season mode right now.
Yeah.
Once you get into the more you know about music, and this is the music corner. The music corner with Scotty bringing you some knowledge. You're like that college DJ. The off-season is going to be interesting. It's going to be not as hopefully not as crazy, because hopefully Bratter gets kind of figured out sooner than later. One guy,
Timo time.
If you boys, Timo time, 100%. I want Timo to be signed before Brett. To be honest with you, we'll figure Brett out whenever you do it, but Timo, get it locked up right away. Another one I don't want to have drag out through the entire summer. But if you guys could pick one player that you would wish, put it on your little wish list, and we could throw this out there to everybody out there. Wow. What is the one player that you want the Devils to go after? I know who Scotty's answer is going to be without him even saying it.
I don't know. I like what some of our friends here on YouTube are saying. But go ahead. Who'd you think it was going to be? Connor Hellebuck?
Yes.
Well, I don't think we need him anymore because Akira Schmid seems to be, And Nico Dawes is going to be coming along too. So I don't know how much we.
Okay.
Hellebuck would be nice though, but you're going to have to probably give up Schmidt or Dawes, or something like that in that package
so
deal.
You give up Dawes, and whatever else.
You're gonna have to give up more too. You're gonna have to give up more. A couple of prospects. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if that's. I don't know if he wants to.
Connor.
I was gonna say no, but I like what everyone is saying here about Tyler Bertuzzi. Yeah. I mean, he does seem good up there in Boston, but I thought he would be a nice piece. He's an interesting guy. I mean, Timo kind of.
Garrett Hathaway.
Timo kind of takes that the way I didn't really expect Timo. I guess it's because I didn't watch as much of the San Jose Sharks. Even out here in LA, the Kings are on a lot more than the old Sharks are. So I didn't realize just how much of how much of that power in power forward he really puts in out there. He is a bull in in the glass shop over there. Just breaking things left and right. And he can take some. I mean, we saw he can take some licks too, and he gets back up and. He really stopped taking those stupid penalties that he was taking in the first couple, where his stick was up in the air like half the time. It was like he was pointing to the rafters with his stick. We're like, "What are you doing? Get your stick down!" But he really
baseball Babe Ruth.
Yeah, right. I mean, he cleaned that all up though, and you really did not see a lot of that, going into the playoffs. And he was the biggest hitter on the team, in the playoffs for sure. And yeah, he struggled with the old goal scoring. He got a lot of opportunities, but he wasn't able to just push one in. But then he got some going, and I don't know. Timo to me, just thinking about Tyler Bertuzzi, Timo I think just gives you similar type of power, but I feel like he's got much more on the goal potential than Tyler Bertuzzi.
What about you, Shorts guy?
I don't know. I've been trying to think of someone that I would like to bring onto this team. I mean, obviously, are you asking not having to worry about the cap and stuff like that? Just like anyone?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just go in fantasy land because right now, and don't get me I hate when people are like, "Oh, then Connor McDavid." If you're going to go full fantasy, pal.
That's stupid. That's so stupid. Man, I don't know. I don't know who. Because I do like this team a lot, just what we have. That's a good question. I don't know if I really.
If we're gonna go full blown fantasy, though, if we can't have Matthew Tkachuk in a full blown fantasy world, if we could find a way to get Brady Tkachuk, but
I was thinking that Tkachuk would be fun on this team.
Tom Wilson.
I don't know.
See,
about
somebody
Tom
that
Wilson.
could, but that's the thing is somebody that could score. That's not going to be a detriment to the team. Like it's not going to be slow. I feel like Tom Wilson would be all right, but I forget how old he is. I think he's like getting into his.
He's getting up there.
He's got to be up there. He's like in his mid-30s, maybe. But dude, yeah, Brady Tkachuk would be ridiculous. Just like Matthew Tkachuk over. Like I was going through my phone the other day and I was looking at old pictures throughout the summer from last year, and I found a screenshot that I took when there were rumors that the Devils were like heavily involved in trying to get Matthew Tkachuk, and they were going to try to figure out how to make that trade. And I remember saying at one point in one of the podcasts, I was like, "Would you give up Brad for Tkachuk?" And like people freaked out. They're like, "Why would you do that?" And I'm like, "Now I want you to look at the playoffs." And I want you to see what Matthew Tkachuk can do on a team. The dude is a monster, an absolute monster. So why would I want to have Matthew Tkachuk on a team? I don't know. It would have fit perfectly for the Devils. I still think to this day, and I'll go to my grave with that one, like if they would have found a way to make that trade, he would have been the perfect fit for the team. But whatever. Say la vie. That's not. Oh, Tom Wilson's 29. Yes.
Yeah, he's.
He seems older
Nylander
for some reason.
Yeah, Nylander.
Yeah, some of that,
nice.
some of that core, but some of that core up in Toronto might be available.
Yeah, yes, it could be.
Yeah. And Gudis, yeah, I mean, he'd be nice, but again, we have a lot of right-handed defensemen
Kyle Connor.
already.
Kyle Connor would be
So-
sweet.
I don't
So
know
this
what we're
is-
going
Plug
to
him
do.
right into the first line too.
So let's think about this. Think about what we're trying to discuss. We're struggling to come up with in a like fantasy acquisitions to the Devils team because of the way this team is right now, which I think is a fantastic. It's fantastic that we can't even really come up with any good pieces that we would want to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, especially on the defensive side there. I mean, with you got Dougie, Marino, and Jonas all there locked up long term.
Mhm.
If you let Severson and Graves go, you replace them with Luke and Kevin Ball. Then you have Brendan Smith there, and you bring up Nemec. And man, what more? I don't. I don't know where. I mean, maybe it is better to get another veteran in there as well, but I don't think you're signing anyone for like a long-term deal or anything like that on defense.
Defensively, that's where Agudas would make sense for like a short-term.
Unless we have Brendan
deal.
Smith, he's there for another
Agudas
year.
He's definitely a. I think he's. No offense to Brendan Smith, but I'd take Agudas over Brendan Smith.
Yeah, but Brendan Smith's going to be your extra defenseman. You got Dougie and Marino.
I see Corbin just said Domi is Ty Domi is a free agent this year. And I said it last year. I thought Ty Domi would be a good Ty Domi. Yes, Ty Domi. Wow. Max Domi. Sorry.
Max.
Man, dude, I am off today. I spent too much time in the sun. Max Domi would be Ty Domi is available. I don't know if he's going to play, but he's available.
He's not going to do
Max
well.
Domi is going to be a free agent. So I mean, he wouldn't be a bad guy to bring in. Although I heard a rumor that he wouldn't mind going back to Chicago and signing a deal for a couple of years just to get them to like the floor. But who knows?
DeBrincat is going to be UFA, right?
Keep Ty Domi. Yeah, keep Ty Domi.
Pacioretty, who has been hurt. Van Riemsdyk.
He can't. Pacioretty can't stay healthy though. That's the problem. Are you looking at the UFA list?
Yeah,
O'Reilly wouldn't be bad. The same thing with Jonathan Taves. Jonathan Taves would be a great addition, but is that dude like still suffering from long-term COVID? Like, is he going to be healthy enough to play?
Old. Yeah, he's 35. No. So here are your top. We got Taves, Kane, Tarasenko, O'Reilly, Van Riemsdyk, Pacioretty, Klingberg, DeBrincat.
Klingberg would be all right.
Sean Monahan up there in Montreal. Then Timo Meier, ranked number 10. Dubois out of Winnipeg, who's only 25 years old still. Jordan Staal. He's older, but he's 34. But he might be one of those. I don't know if he needed. Yeah, he would definitely be one of those character guys, but I'm not sure if he needed on this team. Dumba, who's 28. Johnson out of Colorado, he's 35. Opozo's 35. Lucic, he's 35.
Nope.
Jonathan Quick, Zucker, Nyquist, Gustav Nyquist, Andrew Ladd, Jesper Bratt, 24.
Andrew Ladd is an interesting name. Andrew Ladd's an interesting name because I don't know if you need to give him a monster deal, but Andrew Ladd might be a decent piece to put in there. He would be like a Tatar, but like an upgrade from a Tatar, in my opinion.
Killorn
Bertuzzi
is a free agent out of Tampa. Does he want to join his buddy Palat? Killorn is also 33.
Killorn. Yeah, but he's
Gostisbehere, who we just saw with Carolina, is going to be out there. Tyler Bertuzzi, Dadonov in Dallas, although I'm pretty sure he'll get re-signed. Orlov, who went up to Boston but then got hurt.
Yeah, but he's
31. He's 31, and he's a left-handed defenseman as well.
I like saying like, he's old, right? That dude's old. That dude's super old. And meanwhile, I'm 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been. That's what I've been thinking.
Old bastard.
That's what I've been thinking every time. It's like, he's 35. I'm like, I'm older than 35. It's like, crap, man. We're calling these 35-year-olds old. Meanwhile, they're playing much better hockey than any of us have ever played.
They're hockey old. They're hockey old.
And I don't know if you guys know or not, but there's a 28-year-old out of the San Jose Shark system who I'm sure Sam Wu would love to snatch up again. That is Andreas. Don't call me Andre Johnson Janssen. Just saying. Just saying. Jokes.
Standing at the
Sarcasm.
wharf because that ship sailed.
Kerfoot. Oh, Lordy.
What's his Carefoot? What is he? How old is that kid?
He's old. 28.
28. Oh, I thought he was younger than that.
But yeah, there's Max Domi. He's 28 as well. There's a lot of names out there. Gudis is 33.
Jake.
He's an RD. We could bring back everyone's favorite, John Moore. Oh, man. Everyone used to complain so much about John Moore. He's only 32. How is he only 32 years old?
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Feels like it.
John the Martyr Moore.
Ian Cole plays both sides, left and right defense.
He's an RFA, but and I can't remember if anyone talked about him, but Ross Colton's a Devils fan. And he's an RFA.
I would take Ross Colton, and he's a tough dude. He's a tough dude.
And he's only 26. He's young.
Yes. Ross Colton would be a perfect addition to this team. Another gritty forward. If you're going to get rid of Miles Wood, you need somebody that's going to be a little bit of an upgrade from Wood, and Ross Colton definitely brings that.
Yeah. He's actually my friend's dad is neighbors with his family and was able to go to a Stanley Cup party when he won the cup the last time, like across the street from your house. Yeah. So that would be a great person, great addition for this team to bring home a Jersey kid that actually likes the team too, grew up liking the team. I think that'd be wild.
Not some, scumbag from South Jersey. It's like, I like that orange and black team, or like somebody that's like, I grew up a Ranger fan. Like, no, you grew up in this state. Come on, you grew up during the dynasty that was the New Jersey Devils. Like, give me a break.
And you chose to make poor life decisions.
Yep, and then you went to another team that sucked, and you were like, I'm coming here to win hockey games. Sure.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Sure. That's going to work out splendidly as your team implodes around you. Johnny Hockey, suck it. Hey, real quick. Yeah, but who knows? He could have been a good addition to the team if he wasn't such a suck bag. I mean, that whole process of like the way that they laughed in our face, and they're like, like their GM was like, hey, we got one over on the Devils. Oh, Johnny, way to go, buddy. Like, do you remember where we were in the summertime when all that was going on and we're so jacked? We're like, dude, ESPN, TSN, everybody's saying like Goudreau's 100% going to be a Devil, and everybody's pumped. We're all excited. And then it like blew up in our faces. Everybody laughed at us. And we're like, you guys are going to be picking at the top of the draft again. And then the whole year, like, it just, like, reflecting back on where we started in October to where we just ended was insane. Insane. Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll put it out there that I did not want Johnny Gaudreau on this team because I thought that would not.
I know you were very adamant about that.
You were against it.
Yeah.
But you know what? As I know, listen, we're getting towards the end.
Give me Timo
tonight, like
over Johnny.
I take
like
Timo,
Timo
Johnny
brings.
over Johnny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We already have our Johnny. His name is Jack, and I think he's better.
Gentleman Jack. That's one of my favorite.
Go. There we go.
PK.
Very nice.
PK Subban. No, it's PK Subban. I can't take that one. That's PK Subban. Okay. Gentleman Jack. I love that nickname though. That's really good.
That's a good one.
But
Ghetto and chill, bro.
You know what? I want to throw this out there to everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, on every platform that's listening to us right now. Throw out your favorite memory from the year. Throw out that favorite moment that you had, because going to games, your favorite goal that you saw scored, whatever it may be, whatever that moment may be. Just if you could think of it, just throw it out there. We'll try to read a couple of them as they pop up. But I got to tell you, dude, this year was one of the most exciting during that 13-game heater. I I think one of my favorite moments was being at the Devils Rangers regular season game. I was at Game 7. Keep in mind, it was a great victory and a hell of a good time. Top 5 moments of my playoff experience. But I was at Devils Rangers, where the Devils go down 2-0, and Jack comes back and scores. I think he had 2 goals in that game, and that's when he had the jersey. He was pulling on the jersey, like pulling on the Devils crest. And then Severson won that one in overtime. I was there with both my daughters, and when Severson scored that goal, it was the most exciting. We jumped up. We had such a great time. And it was an explanation point on how that season felt. Just exuberance and just fun. It was just fun. Watching the boys go out there and play, it was like such a good, fun year. So I think that might be my most memorable moment of the year. I don't know about you guys.
Man, I'd really have
Sorry,
to think
Lindy.
about
Jack Hughes' hat trick.
Most memorable.
I got
moment
one.
here.
I got one.
What do you got?
It may sound like I'm trolling, but my most favorite memory was probably a bad
Touchdown
memory.
Devils.
Was really when I was with my wife on that November 23rd game, and the fans started throwing stuff on the ice because they knew that they were getting hosed. But I don't think I've ever heard the Devils fans get so emotionally invested in the refs and the officiating. The booing was so loud, and I thought it was. I compared that booing to when I got years ago when John Rocker came back to Shea Stadium, and every Mets fan wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
That booing was even louder than that, and I didn't think that it was even possible. So for me, that was my most favorite memory of the season. The chicken finger that hit Eric Holla, afterwards when it was revealed that he was assaulted by that,
Assaulted. High sodium content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not kidding around. I mean, there were a lot of good things this season, but that's the one most memorable that I'll never forget, the booing. And it just kept on getting louder and louder and louder as each goal was getting called back. Everyone's so emotionally invested in that game because it's a 13-game winning streak. You were drunk. Right before Thanksgiving, it was a perfect storm.
Which, by the way, every Leaf fan was calling us like scumbags and like these, these morons in Jersey, blah, blah, blah. And then take a bow, Leaf fans, because you just did the same thing, but you did it on a bigger stage, a way bigger stage in the playoffs.
Karma exists.
You bums. You bunch of bums. Crybaby bums.
Towels.
Anyways, go ahead, Shorts.
No, I was just saying that they were throwing all those stupid white towels on the white ice, so that's real smart. I'd rather chicken fingers so you can see it. Favorite moment? I don't know. Man,
a lot of people are saying that game against the Oilers.
That was a good one.
Scored right after.
That was a good one.
And then Jack had
I
the
have a
goal
couple here.
between.
For me, I loved Mercer's hot streak.
Yeah.
Where he was just putting in goals every single night. As me and Sam Wu thought about his goal total potential for the year, Sam put it at a hard 24, and it blew right by that. I think I had it at 26, and he surpassed that too. So Mercer's hot streak was a good moment. Some of those OT goals from Dougie. He had like 3 or 4 of them, I feel like, over the course of the season. And
against
one thing
Vegas, he had that beauty against Vegas.
Yeah, one thing that really stuck out to me, and I can't remember, did the Devils win the game or not? I feel like they lost, but when Jack Hughes had that like 6 to 7 minute shift at the end of, I think it was was it the Islanders game?
The Islanders, yeah, that was the last.
They lost, but he had that monster shift.
6.
Yeah.
Man, he just went out there and put it all on the table, and he was all over the place. And they had the goalie pulled for like 5 minutes, I feel like, in that game, and they. Oh yeah, yeah. Lindy did some really nice moves, and like there were a couple different times too, where it was just like, yeah, don't worry, we'll pull the goalie in the last 2 minutes of the game and we'll score. And they did. They just
Yeah.
like, okay, it's time to pull the goalie and tie this up. Here we go, boom.
I like Corbin. Real quick, Scotty, I'm so sorry, but Corbin on the YouTube chat just said when we got Gallant fired. That's a really good one.
That's
a
great.
good one.
Very
That's
nicely done, sir.
So I think my favorite part of the season was the emergence of Akira Schmid throughout the course of the season, who was like the best kept secret. We all knew what he was capable of because we saw it a bunch of times. You know what? I want to say, yeah, we did, because we saw him come into games and step in and play really well as a rookie and go into games in tough situations and to be able to handle it very well. And it just got magnified when he did it against the Rangers in the playoffs. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, who's this kid? And we're like, he's been here pretty much all season, and we've seen him do this pretty much all season long. You just neglected to look at it. So I think the emergence of Akira Schmid, plus seeing Vitek play very well, not having 7 goalies step into the net, I think was really good. So that was huge for us. But on a personal note, I think being out on the big stage, the Let's Go Devils podcast big stage at American Whiskey, was probably my favorite part of the whole season in the playoffs. Would you say so, Sam?
Yeah, and getting to play my music from my iPod as well.
Classic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then getting yelled at that it was too loud. Too loud.
DJ Sam Wu.
No, you know what? Honestly, that big stage, we met so many of our fans that would come up to the stage, fans that we never met before, saying how much the podcast they listen to in the car, their commute. Also, knowing that we actually have an international audience as well, Germany, Switzerland, UK, India, Australia. New Zealand, Turkey has now made its way to
awesome.
the demographic. So, and who knows? Maybe we'll be internationally known and diplomats of the New Jersey Devils hockey. I don't know. Ambassador, that's it, not diplomats. Ambassador, yeah. To abroad. But I think it's pretty cool that we get listeners from all walks of life, and they come to American Whiskey, like that family that bought the I Hate Sam Wu t-shirts.
Yeah.
From Virginia, Kayla and Brendan. Yep. That was cool. They brought their mom and dad just to buy a t-shirt and take a picture with me from Virginia. Also, Ryan Hutner from upstate New York, 3.5, 4 hour trip just to come and see the podcast at American Whiskey. Thought that was cool. Plus, Stagehouse Tavern, if you remember, Arlette's, singing with Shorts Guy.
The terrible duet.
Yeah.
The terrible duet.
The duet. That was a good moment.
And then shortly after, Shorts Guy decided to start a band. So it sparked a career. It sparked a career moment for him.
The band was in the works. The band was in the works.
I just showed. I'm kidding.
Oh man.
But yeah, dude, what an awesome season with like hanging out with you guys.
By the way,
talking about it.
Those Dougie goals, those were 2 in a row. It was a home game against Pittsburgh, and then the next one was in Vegas, and they were both overtime. Were they both power play goals? I think they might have been both power play goals.
Yes,
game
they were.
winners, man.
Yes, they were.
Yep. Yeah. I'm looking back at my little notebook of notes here just to pick some stuff out.
Nice.
When Jack passed Patty.
Yeah,
that was a great game too.
Luke Hughes scoring the overtime winner at the last game of the season.
Oh, that was great too.
Yeah. That was, and then that was another Schmid came in the game and saved the day because they were getting their doors blown off. Oh my god!
See, we knew about Schmid. The world didn't know, but we knew. We're like, yeah,
We knew.
we've had this kid.
We knew, man.
We knew.
Yeah, what a wonderful year, man. What a wonderful,
I
fun.
know.
Mercer,
like,
too.
insane-
Mercer broke Scott Gomez's record for consecutive games started from your rookie season.
Dougie
Man,
Hamilton, most goals by a defenseman.
Points. Most points and most goals, right? Is it both, or is it just the goal? I know definitely the goals.
He tied or broke the goals. I know that.
Mercer's
He definitely broke the
point
goals.
streak. Mercer's consecutive point streak. That was a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Mackenzie Blackwood starting one game. That was
Jack hitting 40.
Yeah, my favorite quote from
Yeah.
Jack at the end of the year here was when he was like, "Yeah, it was a great year. Just crazy like how things have gone." I'm paraphrasing all this, but he's like, "Yeah, it scored." He's like, "I stepped it up this year, scored 44." And he goes, "Just to think about it, 3 years ago, people were calling me the biggest bust ever." The swag that he had
Who
this
was
year.
calling him that?
Everybody, well, probably more people across the river than anybody else, but the swag that he got and just that extra little cockiness when he scored in the Rangers series in MSG and did the no selly is one of my favorite things of all time. And just that cocky scored and just coasted along the boards, just looking at the fans. I'm like, yes, dude. And you're gonna be with us for the next 8? All right, cool, man. We're in.
And he is so now hated at MSG. I love it. Every time he touches the puck, he's booed. That is a great thing to hear. I love hearing that. It's like, yes. Bring your hatred onto our Savior. Bring your hatred onto Jack Hughes.
The hatred makes him stronger.
Yeah. Your hate fuels him.
He's just going to ghetto and chill afterwards. He don't care.
Yeah,
right.
And then quietly, Nico having a Selke type of season.
Yeah.
You could really go on and on about everybody on this team. Nico had a hell of a year. And if he doesn't win the Selke, I'd be, pretty bummed out because I think he deserves it. If you statistically look at it, he could definitely earn it, just going based off of numbers. But he had a hell of a year. All these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is just the beginning, just got to figure out how to keep them all together, put the other pieces in.
Nico, career year for goals, for assists, and points. I mean, he did. He had himself a hell of a year. I mean, they all had, Jesper Bratt breaking 30 goals. Dawson Mercer, would he end up at 27 or 28? Actually having that many players over the 20-goal mark with Tatar as well. It's been a long time since we've had something like that.
Damn,
man, there's so many many great moments though.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame to the season.
I know we had the most wins, most points, blah blah blah, but it's still, even though we were doing this all season, the 13-game heater or whatever, it
time
still
for
felt
road
like
wins.
It still felt like it all snuck up on us. Like we're going through all these new records, posted by players, team records and stuff like that, and it's like you think back to it, you're like, holy crap! All this stuff happened this season. It's just kind of like a weird. It's really weird because it was all kind of just, I don't know. It just all snuck up on all of us because this is not what we were expecting all season. So, but looking back at it in retrospect, you're like, damn, what a season!
Yeah, and just fans coming out of nowhere, during this playoff run, where I work at, in the school that I work at. I wear my devil stuff all the time. I have my jerseys, or in my classroom, in my art room, if you walk in the back, I have this huge shrine to the Devils. And that's where all the bobbleheads I get and all that kind of stuff are. And I get a couple kids here and there. The amount of people that started coming out and supporting the team. In the beginning of the year when they're in that 13-game winning streak, in the middle of Disney World with my kids and my family, walking around, and people are like, yeah, let's go Devils. I'm like, yeah. Exactly. You'd be out walking around the street, you're wearing a Devils hat, and somebody's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, hell yeah. I've seen the more support. And that's the one thing that I hope that the ownership sees, because, the ownership Harris has his hands in a lot of different things. Now he's got the Commanders, he's got the Guardians, he's got a soccer team. He's got his hands in a bunch of different things. The Sixers. I hope they don't forget how important this team is to this state. And all the non-Devils fans will say, oh, they're the Devils, whatever, blah, 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 the stepchild of this area, whatever. Dude, this team is so important to this state and can do so much good for this state. And if you could just grow it and let the fan base see a winning product. Because all those people that sat on their hands for the last 10 years that didn't want to go to games because the team was terrible, or didn't want to cheer, or didn't want to put a bumper sticker on their car, or wear their hat out, or put a jersey on because the team sucked so bad, are now starting to remember like how fun it is to root for the team, to how fun it is to have that whole like jersey against everybody mentality. That first round playoffs, as much as like part of me didn't want to see the Rangers in the first round, it was so much fun. Because it felt like that old time, like us against the world, us against New York, like us against those bums across the river. And it was amazing. It was so much fun.
I don't want to be
another good one, too?
I don't know, Beer Barn.
I was just going to say another good one was when Jesper Bratt hit.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say another good one is when Jesper Bratt hit 30 goals for the year. It was that Hattie. Braddy with the Hattie down there in was it Tampa Bay or Florida? I think it was Tampa Bay, if I'm not mistaken. But that was how he hit 30 goals.
That was the same. That was Nico got 30 goals that game, and Brad got 30 goals that game.
Did they get both that game? I'm trying to look here and find it in my notes. I know that was right around the time Jack was pushing 40 as well. They were all like hitting those numbers like right at the same time.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Sam?
Oh, I agree with you. What you were saying, but when it comes to Harris and Blitzer, we're just a number and revenue to them. I mean, they don't care about any of this. I wish they would be. I wish they would be more involved. But then again, at the same time, it's he's building some big sports conglomerate. For whatever reason, and. We're just a number. We're just in part of his portfolio. Maybe not. But
let's have a little faith in that.
Maybe but he did. But I joked around. Like I think after Game 7, I think Harris was like high fiving the fans, which is
I think was
good.
Yeah.
Where there was a video.
And Blitzer was in the crowd watching a couple of games, like down low.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember on John McMullen. I'll never forget it. Him, Blitzer, and Harris, Scott O'Neill, and Hugh Weber, and all of them. I was sitting, 8th row, in the rich people section, and none of them were paying attention to the game. And the Devils were down 4-0, 5-0, or something like that, and everyone's booing, and they were laughing. And I'll never forget that. And moving forward. Look, the team is good. I don't want to be, negative there, but we're still a number to them. I mean, they have no budget for anything, but, but they can buy the Commanders.
Listen, it's
we still got it done despite that.
Yeah. Let's not think that way, Sammy boy. Let's stay in the positive right now because we're going into the future looking bright, and if they see a winning product, maybe they start to invest a little bit more into the team, not just on the ice, but off of the ice.
Well, I think they've done pretty well. They spent all the way to the cap. I mean, that'll give them credit for. I mean, they're financially solvent. I mean, remember when they bought the team, we were about to go bankrupt.
No, we were not. Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of good things, but
we were bankrupt when they bought the team.
Pretty much. I mean,
no, we were.
They weren't paying the players, actually. I think the NHL
the team was actually bankrupt. Yeah, the team was bankrupt, and it was way bleaker than a lot of fans realize. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. And they came in at the right time. Listen, it hasn't always been perfect. And I know this is one of the best parts about our show is, we could always have the, devil's advocate, I suppose. No pun intended. And you could always have the back and forth about it. But it's a blessing that those guys bought the team. I'm glad they bought the team because we probably might have been in Quebec right now or Houston or something like that. So
they don't move Stanley Cup champions.
yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
Arizona's still there.
Just want to. Max was asking what is our favorite Let's Go Devils podcast moment of the season. His was when that Ranger fan behind me, bumped into me, and then Peyton stopped it, and then everybody came to my rescue. That when I was waving for security to come in and handle that guy. So, you guys,
mine might be the old yeller from, I believe, the same evening there, Sam Wu.
the old yeller football call.
The old yeller football call. Yeah, that was something I wasn't expecting from Sam Wu there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was by accident. Meeting.
They take him around the barn and shoot him.
No. That's not how it went. That's not how it went. I think it went.
It was something like that.
Something like that. It's like, take the Rangers season behind the barn and put it down, or something like that.
Oh.
I thought you said shoot him or something. I don't remember, but I think it was Max.
Yeah.
Who Max or someone on the YouTube christened that the old yeller.
The old yeller
football call.
I forgot about that.
Maybe it was oh my goodness, or I'm just looking at Ariel. It was someone. Steven christened it the old yeller, and yeah, that was one where I was just like, wow, Sam went there for this. Okay, all right.
Oh, super chat. Zachary Giello, I think that's how you pronounce it. Do you see Tom Fitzgerald adding more playoff experienced players in the offseason?
If he can.
So.
I think Monahan would be a decent addition to this team, in my opinion.
Not a bad player.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad player. Yeah,
has playoff experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's someone available that he can bring in and still get everyone else signed. I think that would be great.
Yeah, look for a sneaky trade.
Well, now they all have playoff
Fitzgerald
experience.
Fitzgerald is also known to make these really sneaky trades where at first you're like, weird. But look at what he did with Vanacek. Look at what he did with Marino. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he makes a little move that raises some eyebrows where you're like, oh, okay, that's an interesting piece to bring in that just seems to fit perfectly. So he's got some things up his sleeve.
He's done it before.
It's magic. It's magic indeed.
I love John Marino. I mean, that guy.
That was a great get.
He's a shutdown guy.
That was huge.
The way he came out.
And look at what we gave them. What did we give him, a third and tie?
Yep.
We gave him a third and what could have been
Ty Wilkes-Barre Smith. Is that who we gave up there over there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's who we gave up.
Water out on that one. Wilkes-Barre Smith. Ty can't cook broccoli Smith. What was his name?
Yeah. Or is it Scranton? No, it's Wilkes-Barre, right? That's where they are.
Wilkes-Barre, yeah.
Scranton. No, I think it's Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah,
Scranton.
Yeah,
Wilkes-Barre.
It's the Dunder Mifflin. He's playing over at Dunder Mifflin. He's playing with Michael Scott.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much. I got a black eye in Wilkes-Barre a couple years ago. I was at a show.
They don't mess around there.
Well,
2003. Last song of the last
you're coming into the WV, man.
Shorts guy.
Some came in with the hammer hands.
Yeah, last song of the last set of the night, and I just remember a fist in my face. I was like, oh, well, this is going to suck to drive home with. Favorite podcast moment. The emergence of the big stage for the playoffs. That was my favorite moment of the season for the podcast. And the personalities we were able to bring out there to be amongst the people.
Yeah, when Frank's like, oh yeah, I'll get my guys to do it. You're like, oh, yeah, right. And then he like literally built that.
And he does it.
And he does it. You know, he sends me pictures like, whoa.
Everything at American Whiskey this year should be a top memory for everybody. American Whiskey was huge. Frank, everybody there was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The staff there is amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. Even from our first podcast, I'll never forget standing there at the first podcast that we had there. We're standing in the corner, and I looked around.
The $500,000 podcast.
No, well, that one was my favorite, by the way, and that's what my favorite moment was when Scotty came all the way to the East Coast, and that was awesome to have all four of us in person at the same time. That was like my favorite moment.
Yeah,
in one place. But just being there, surrounded by all you guys, getting to meet everybody that we see just names scrolling up and down, reading some of these comments that you guys say, you guys mean a lot to us. And I know we say this kind of stuff all the time. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for, all the fans out there and stuff like that. But it is really what makes this work, and it really what makes it fun is being able to have those moments where we get to meet you and shake your hand. And, like we always say, we're just a couple of regular guys too. But yeah, every time we did something at American Whiskey and you looked out and the people were just chanting and yelling and screaming, you walk out in the street and the environment, the playoff environment. What a hell of a year, man. What a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure if this is, an exact moment, but, on Twitter, there's a lot of banter. On Facebook, there's a lot of banter. A
lot of fake accounts.
Yeah, a lot of fake accounts, all the burner accounts, all that kind of stuff.
Even the ones that you're accused of making.
Yeah. But on a positive note, it's surreal, and sometimes I can't believe it. But after there's a lot of negativity online, but when I walk around, or Shorts Guy, you experienced this yesterday, I now get stopped at like the grocery store. Are you Sam Wu? Or or down the street locally, outside the arena. It's almost like every other week now I would get stopped. Like, do you have a podcast or whatever?
Wait, you're rubbing your own lamp over here? What's going on? You're happy you're a little star? Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
No, but
you see he's all reaching back and doing this a little bit, like just a little pat in the back.
Yeah, I learned from the Devil's marketing department. Anyways, sorry. When they pat themselves on the back like they have in the last 3 days. Oh, my goodness. On Twitter. So I like a lot of it.
Sam being told to the NHL by the NHL Network to keep the music down. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I'll take like Max, a quarter % of that one, because that was the mix, right? That was the metal mix that I said.
Yeah. with all the swear words and bad words that were forgotten.
Yeah.
No one can understand what Rob Zombie says in all the songs anyway.
No.
Yes, they can.
No.
Yes, they can.
Like Beer Baron and I had a counter.
There's 3 of them in there.
There was the Beer Baron counter. 5, 6, 7.
I looked up. As I was being support to the side of the stage, I'm like, well, I'll get a Let's Go Devils chant going, and I'll count how many curses are in this song. Oh, that was what a wonderful moment.
Our Nunez.
Great.
What? The famous Sam Wu buys his own groceries? He doesn't have people for that? LOL. Actually, that was the one time I actually went to ShopRite. Eric Burns stopped me. I'm like...
Eric Selden said, I saw him wearing I Am Sam Wu t-shirt. Oh, are you Sam Wu? I guess I am. As he looks down at his t-shirt. Oh, God. And Max, by the way, Max said during the $500,000 show
done, Eric.
that I called it it was going to be a 7-1 victory. I believe, Max, you were the one that inspired me to say that it was going to be a 7-1 victory, and it ended up
Max's
being a
beer
7-0
chugs
victory. Yeah.
Yes, Max's beer chugs were great.
That's a highlight.
Yeah.
Paul Marino bringing Sam and Shorts Guy cookies unwrapped in his pocket, just, full of.
You want these gummy bears?
There's like a quarter stuck to the back of one of them. I was like, oh well,
you just spit
That's
that
like
out.
that scene from Ferris Bueller's. You want
clean it off
bears?
and go, dust it off and eat it. There you go.
They're a little warm. Yeah, meeting Mr. Marino. That's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
Having him on the show, that was great.
Yeah. Thinking about all the people.
And by the way, Art,
Chico.
it was nice meeting you too. I saw
Randy
that in there.
McKay.
Yes, Art.
Yeah, Randy McKay.
Yeah, Randy McKay.
Bryce Salvador.
Yeah.
Salvador.
That was huge.
That was massive.
Hey, think about
It's
next
been
year
a
when we're
good
standing
time.
around doing a podcast in the middle of the road for Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
I gotta say though,
gonna be
I might have to go to with a tie situation with the Old Yeller and Shorts guys, karaoke night. That was a good one over there. I gotta say that was a good one.
Oh, that's such a terrible rendition. I ruined such a great song. But hey,
There
at least I
was
could say
in key and out of key. But you gave it your all, and that's all that matters.
I gave it my all, and I can at least say that I sung a duet with Arlette. I can at least say that.
Not very many can say that, so there you go.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Actually, I think I may have the clip, actually.
I figured that's what you were looking for.
Yeah.
That was so terrible.
I wish we had the clip of Sam Wu's fury there when Toronto beat us on that bad call during our winning streak. In a bad way, that was one of my highlights, just to see how pissed off Sam Wu was at the Toronto officials after that call.
That was rough.
What was it, Sam? Was that the 13? That was at 13 games, right? That would have been 14,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Would have been 14.
He's still angry. I know. He's still
No,
angry.
I was still angry even to the last playoff game because, I said this on Devils After Dark that look, it had we didn't have those 2 points stolen from us, it would have been totally different playoffs. We would have been in Metropolitan Division champions. That's
very true.
And you know what?
That's true.
Once I saw Toronto karma hit back. I actually now I think I have closure on it now. That goal call back, delay a game penalty, just like Siegenthaler, all that
Sam
stuff.
had screenshots and everything ready to go that night. He was so pissed off. It was funny in in that lovable Sam Wu way.
Oh yeah.
Sam eating the wings before a cholesterol test.
Oh yeah, people buy me pizza. Yeah, people buy me pizza. Remember that guy that had 6 pizzas? And then he handed me a pizza box, and everyone's like, eat it. I had a cholesterol test.
How about
the
when
next
they
day?
spelled Sam Wu and pizza in front of the podcast table?
Oh man.
Durango
God.
Steve.
That's good old.
What a
Durango.
wild time.
Giving
Good time.
away pizza
Seriously.
outside of American whiskey.
Yeah. Giving away pizza for likes, for likes and subscriptions. As he's handing out pizza, he's like, here, you can only have a slice of pizza if you like and subscribe to the podcast, and that was what he was trying to get people to do. He was trading
a good
pizza
man.
for likes.
And he
You
was
can't beat-
he
you
was
can't
White
beat Durango
Russian
Steve.
Steve, right? Was he White Russian Steve or Mudslides? That's what they were
Yeah,
calling
mudslide Steve.
At the-
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's a
It's a
good name to
$500,000
have.
party.
That sounds like you have a
Bit of a
I think they
problem.
didn't they run out of milk or something?
Yeah,
like
they
that,
ran out of milk
during the night?
at the $500,000
He had
party.
so many of those mudslides throughout the evening.
He was wasted, dude. He was
Oh, my
banged up after.
He likes
The
to party.
$500,000
I'm sorry. Durango Steve likes to party.
Yes, he does.
Oh.
Yes, he does.
We had a couple of outdoor adventures as well, like Sam pointing the camera out at
The
maniacs
fight
fighting
in the
streets.
the fight in the parking lot when Vinny
We had
Parisi
a fight
came,
in the parking lot. Yeah.
and then right after the guy got strangled on some guy's hood, then some girl, Devils fan, started dancing, and then the attention turned, and then the Uber driver came out to dance or something like that.
Oh my
What a
God!
season.
I think I'm dying on camera right now. Oh, that was a good time.
The Bourbon Street that Edison Place turned into after the Devils won the Rangers series.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
that place was
People climbing poles.
right. Don't climb
Yeah,
the
like
poles.
it's
They're
whatever
gonna
you
ruin
do.
it for everybody. They're gonna
Yeah.
stop it if you.
If you climb,
Yeah.
if you climb that pole and you fall off that damn pole, guess what? The cops are coming in there and they're breaking everything down, and they're not going to let us have fun.
Yeah.
So, and then
Not
they're going to be
Philly.
like, no more outdoor stuff. So,
Yep.
whatever you do, don't climb the poles. All right.
Oh my Lord!
Oh. Wow.
There was a lot.
Good times.
Sam Woo's extra bacon salad as well. That was always a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Much better than the catfish from.
Catfish. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! Sam would be like, "You ever try to catfish?" I'm like, "I'm not trying catfish in a bar in the middle of Newark, dude. Have you seen the river down the street? Where the hell did they get it from?"
You gotta have the catfish, man. You don't know what you're missing. This catfish is incredible.
And then he's like, "But the double-tailed lobster, if you really want to get into it." Oh my god!
Every time I come here, I'm getting that catfish. It's good luck.
Oh,
Get
he
that
loved
catfish. What
Oh.
a change of pace, too, man.
I'll
You
say the
cut your
pizza and the
teeth
wings
one
are
way.
a much better
Pizza and the
thing
wings
than
are a good
the
way to go.
catfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake River catfish. Yeah, is that 4 eyes on there? Oh my god.
Sam Woo getting the little sound effects for the VTech goalie chants and everything like that, and the Ric Flair woo going at American whiskey. That was good.
Yeah.
Those were good. Those made those watch parties a lot more fun too.
Yeah, they did.
Max, I'm gonna have to go to Maine now if that's true. It says a McDonald's up there have they serve
lobster rolls?
in Maine.
Lobster
Yeah, in
rolls.
Maine.
Hey now, lobster rolls, that's a different story. Sign me up for some lobster rolls. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You ever go up to like Massachusetts and like what is that? What's the thing that they have out there? Cape Cod, right? No, it's not.
What's
yeah,
the
Cape
thing?
Cod, right?
What's that
Cape Cod.
plates?
I can't remember the name of it. It's Cape Cod, right? Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard.
They got some. Woo! Martha. Well, yeah, I didn't go there. I got to Cape Cod though. But I think Martha's Vineyard's like around there somewhere. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
It is,
That's where
yeah.
Jaws is filmed. Hey, real quick.
got
Well, go ahead, short guy.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to switch gears just a tiny bit, but just to see if you guys were interested in making any predictions for the next round. Although it's not solidified, are we still going to do that, short guy? Because my
still
team
gonna
took
do
a giant
that, yeah.
dump. Took a
Yeah,
giant
no, we're
dump.
still gonna do that. I'm gonna I have to do the math again at the end of this round, and we'll see if we'll see who's leading and who's losing
I
ground.
took a
And,
hit.
yeah, I at least still got the
Max will
Panthers.
say
Seattle
Seattle's
wins.
gonna.
Seattle. This
I-
is. This
I
is a
got
shirt from
Dallas.
Seattle. I got
think I
Seattle.
have Dallas.
I got back in Seattle all the way.
I got
Now that
Dallas,
the Devils are out.
Edmonton. I think I
they're
had the
playing-
Panthers as
oh.
well, and yeah, Edmonton and Vegas are on now. I think Edmonton is up 2-1.
They are. Yeah, I just
Um,
looked at the score now.
Okay, I'm just waiting for the little score. Yeah, my thing is so far behind. Yeah, 2-1 in the first here. About 7 minutes left to go.
Seattle, Florida.
I had
do think
Edmonton.
Florida's. I think Florida's going to go.
That's
all
why I was
the way.
hoping. I was hoping for the path of redemption for the Devils. First, they beat the Rangers, then they beat their other playoff rival, the Canes, and then they go and they take care of all the stupid drama that happened at the beginning of the season, where the Panthers thought Nico cheap shotted Barkov,
Oh yeah.
and then they redeem on all 3 levels, but not meant to be this
Wasn't
year.
to be. Wasn't meant
Sam,
to be.
Sam, where are you doing? You just took Beer Baron off, and now he walked away. I
Yeah.
don't think he
Oh.
realized what he did there with the old cameras.
I don't think so either. Well,
This
And
might
I
be my
think
new
Beer Baron
favorite
is-
moment of the season when Sam Woo went to the wrong camera shot, muted Beer Baron, and then walked away from his camera.
well, hey, this is what happens when you're Ann's crew. When you're not a named member of the podcast and you're just Ann's crew. This is what happens. You
I think
get-
the little ding went off, and I think there was some catfish done, and I think Sam
Yep.
Woo was running over to the stove, and now he's going to put his headphones
Seriously.
back on, and now he's going to
Sammy.
realize that we're still talking about him because he put the wrong picture on the screen and walked away from his camera.
yeah.
Whoops.
There he goes.
Whoops.
Hey, and welcome back, Ann's crew.
Sorry about that, Beer Brian. Did not mean
It's
that.
fully expected.
I'm just a
Fully
terrible
expected.
producer. That's all. No
Fully
ill will.
expected.
No ill will.
I understand my
We
role. in this
assumed the
podcast.
timer
I
on the
understand.
catfish in the oven went off, and you had to go and take care of that. That's all.
Pretty much.
All right, should we wrap it up, gentlemen?
Yes. Let's do that.
Oh, I hate this.
Man, I don't know what the final thoughts are. We should have a little. We were talking about it on Devils After Dark. We should do maybe a little poll and stuff like that for team MVP, unsung hero, other sort of things that we can get our amazing audience to vote on. Yeah, and we can read them off. Maybe next weekend we could have all our own, obviously, but we can have our amazing fans there and listeners, vote on who they think was team MVP and unsung hero and whatever it was, defenseman of the year, however you want to do it. We'll figure it out. But I think that'd be a great idea to do and get everyone's viewpoint out there for this unprecedented season for the Devils.
Ellen Hughes, MVP. That's my vote.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, speaking of Ellen Hughes, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yes,
and,
good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to my wife, to my mom, to my mother-in-law, all the wonderful mothers that we have in our lives. So happy Mother's Day to y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom.
I know my mom listens. She was listening to Game Day Live. I don't know if she's listening this late tonight, but happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Final thoughts?
That's our final thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mom's rule.
Mom's rule. Final thought. Mom's rule. There you go.
Done.
All right. Well, we're going to end this podcast with Shorts Guy. And,
here we go.
And our
Oh, God.
Arlette singing their duet.
I'm taking my headphones off. Ugh, it's so bad.
Till next
Kyle, the
time.
numbers just started crashing. You see this? Everybody's signing off. What the hell is that about?
Good.
Till next
good,
time, well, let's go Devils.
4 years have gone by.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, but then I see the look in your eyes.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Oh, every now and then I fall apart.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart. Just want me now. And I need you now tonight. And I need you more than ever. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be making it right. 'Cause we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. 'Cause love is like a shadow of me all the time. I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark. 'Cause living it. Forever's gonna. Sorry, y'all. Forever's gonna start. Once upon a time, I was falling in love.
Now I'm only falling apart.
There's nothing I can do. A total eclipse of the heart.